Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj daily call. Thank you so much for joining. So today, today Maharaj will continue to enlighten us on the topic glories of Damodar Lila on the from Srimad Bhagavatam. Canto 10, chapter 9, verse 20. Hare Krishna, Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, will you continue the same topic?
Yeah.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, should I share the verse?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, 9th chapter, verse number 20. Getting to the end of the chapter with Damodar. Nemam virincho na bhavo nasriyapyanga samsraya prasaram lebede gopi yatat prapya vimuktidat. Neither Lord Brahma nor Lord Shiva, or even the goddess of fortune, who is always the better half of the Supreme Lord, can obtain from the Supreme Personality of Godhead and deliver from this material world such mercy as received by Mother Yasoda. Purport. This is a comparative study between Mother Yasoda and other devotees of the Lord. as stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi 5142, Ikala Ishwar Krishna, Hari Sabhavritya. The only Supreme Master is Krishna. And all others are his servants. Krishna has the transcendental quality of Vritya Vasyata, becoming subordinate to his Vritya, or servant. Now, although everyone is Britya, and although Krishna has the quality of becoming subordinate to his Britya, the position of Mother Yashoda is the greatest. Lord Brahma is Britya, a servant of Krishna. He is also, and he is Adi Kavi, the original creator of this unit. Teni Brahma Yada Yat Adi Kabaye. Nonetheless, even he could not obtain such mercy as Mother Yashoda. As for Lord Shiva, he is the topmost Vaishnava, Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. What to speak of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva and the goddess of fortune Lakshmi is a constant companion in service, since she always associates with his body. But even she could not get such mercy. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit was surprised, thinking, what did Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj do in their previous lives at which they got such an opportunity? The opportunity to be the affectionate father and mother, Krishna. In this verse, there are three negative pronouncements. Na, na, na. Whenever anything is uttered three times, do it, do it, do it, one should understand that this is meant to indicate great stress on the fact. In this verse, we find ne libere, ne libere, ne libere. Your Mother Yashoda is the topmost, supermost exalted position, and thus Krishna has become completely subordinate to her. The vimuktida is also significant. There are different types of liberations, such as Sahujya, Salokya, Sarupa, Sarshta, and Samipya. But Vimukti means special mukti. And when after liberation one is situated on the platform of Prema Bhakti, one is said to have achieved Vimukti, special mukti. Therefore, the word na is mentioned. That exalted platform of Prema is described by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prema Purvarta Mahan. The Mother Yashoda naturally acts in such an exalted position of loving affairs. She is therefore a Nitya Siddha, a devotee, an expansion of Krishna's Ladini potency, his potency to enjoy transcendental bliss through expansions of his special devotees. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavita being. Such devotees are not sadhana siddha. Imagyanti Miranda Syargana Jana Samakya. Taksu Omraitam Yena Tasmai Shridaravena Maha. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale. Bhakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamani Namaste Saraswati Devi. Gauravani Kuchari Nene Sesa Sunyavari Pasyatya Devi Sakarina. Vanchakopa Chayudascha Kitansinduke Vachapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Guntananda Sri Dvaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauravaktavindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We're hearing about the supremely exalted spiritual position of Mother Yashoda. She gets to become the mother of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That means she rules over the Supreme Personality of Godhead from a position of being his mother. Who can be the mother of the Supreme Lord when he is the father and mother of everyone? It says, Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhanapran. Krishna is your mother, Krishna is your father, Krishna is the treasure of your life. Krishna is the exalted supreme personality of Godhead. No one is greater than him, no one is equal to him, everyone is subordinate to him. Yet, he takes the position of subordination, Vritya, when there is pure love coming from his exalted devotees. And in this case, Mother Yasoda, she can tie him up, she can chastise him, she also lovingly feeds him, takes care of him. Just as a mother takes care of a child, Mother Yasoda is taken care in an extraordinarily loving way, because automatically Krishna brings out all of one's good qualities. Although it's mother to son, it's more than that, because that son is the supreme personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is supremely attractive in whatever form he takes. Whether he is the manifestation of the cosmic destruction, or whether he is the little child stealing butter, he's attractive because he is supreme. He is all powerful. He is in this mood all sweet, and in this mood also very much happy to be in a position of subordination. Mother Yasoda, what she, Queen Kunti, in one of her prayers, she glorifies Mother Yasoda. Queen Kunti is such an exalted position. She's Krishna's aunt. Krishna pays his obeisances to Mother Kunti, touches her feet, places the dust of her feet on his head. That is Krishna in relationship to his auntie, Queen Kunti. She's glorious. She's the mother of 5 glorious personalities who are the Pandavas, who are the best friends and associates of Krishna. So her position, but in her prayers to Krishna, she glorified Mother Yasoda's position of being supremely exalted in all aspects of exaltation. And here we see a little bit about Mother Yasoda's connection. She is the eternal associate of the Lord. There is Nitya Siddha, Nitya Bada, and Kripa Siddha. Kripa Siddha means one who performs sadhana, and although they don't perfect sadhana, they still receive the mercy of the process of sadhana, in the sense that they also can reach perfection simply by outstanding performance of some particular service. For instance, we use the example, just like sometimes a personality in the material world will not go to a particular university, but will receive an honorary diploma from that university because of some outstanding achievement. That is analogous to this Nitya Siddha, who simply performs sadhana, and by that sadhana, they attract the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they reach perfection. Second category is Nitya Bada, that is most of us, who have come to this material world to enjoy. And we're here in this material world to somehow or other try to find happiness through the mind, through the senses, through the body, through the intelligence, through accumulating various types of possessions and surrounding ourselves with a band of relatives and friends who are just thrown together by the force of time. And we're trying to enjoy this material world and life at Michi Mayadavase Kacho Base. Life after life, we go through the same program of becoming a family member, becoming a child, becoming a mother, becoming a father, becoming a friend, becoming a servant. We do all kinds of roles. And we're all being thrown. Life after life, we're going in different positions within the material tabernacle. Sometimes in a higher material position, sometimes in the lower. But it's all, because it's material, it's all restricted. Because it's material, it is all suffering. It's just like a person in jail. There's, you might say also, we could use the same analogy with prisoners. An inmate or a prisoner will be in one of three categories within the jail. There'll be the mainstream prisoners, that's us, the Nityabhadas, or there'll be the prisoners who are acting wrongly in the prison and are given additional punishment and put into solitary confinement. So they're in a lesser position. And then you have those inmates or prisoners who are they behave well, very well in jail, and they never cause any trouble. They're very obedient, and they also have some outstanding qualities. They're given some privileges in the prison. I've seen it when I've been into prisons. They also they may also run the library in the prison. They might also assist in caring for other inmates. So yeah, these are privileged prisoners. So that's like the mode of goodness. The mainstream prisoners are like the mode of passion. And the ones who will cause trouble are like those in the mode of ignorance. But still, you can't say because one is a privileged prisoner, he's in a good position. No, he's still in prison. He's still in prison. So in the same way, the conditioned souls take different positions in the material world. And sometimes in higher planets, sometimes in middle planets, sometimes in lower planets. But it's still, because it's in the material world, it's unstable and it's always subject to suffering and rebirth. And then you have the Nitya Siddhas, where we're describing here, Mother Yasoda is an eternal associate of the Lord. She never comes to the material world, and if she does, she comes simply as a associate of the Lord to serve the Lord in different ways, or to assist the Lord in his mission. And this is Mother Yasoda. She's a Nitya Siddha. She doesn't touch the material world. And her position as a mother is fixed. She's a mother in the spiritual world, and when she comes here, she becomes Krishna's mother in the material world. She doesn't play any other role. And because she's in that role, Krishna takes the position of being subordinate. As a child was always subordinate to his mother. But she has a chance to become affectionate from that position as father or mother in this case. And Krishna reciprocates that affection in the role of a child. So it's very sweet, it's very endearing, it's very intimate, and it is very rarely achieved. In fact, it's impossible to achieve that position practically, because Krishna doesn't relegate himself to so many persons in that and become their subordinate. But that's Krishna. And Krishna is the most attractive object. His name is Krishna, which means he's all attractive. He can attract everyone, and everyone is naturally attracted to him. And he exhibits himself in such a way that he exhibits his attractive feature in whatever he does, by his different opulences, by his relationships with his devotees. And when you reflect upon it, you have to be amazed. If you're not amazed, then you're dull. And amazed, the amazement is that here is the greatest living being in all of existence, who is the source of all existence, the all-powerful force in creation, the element or the personality who is the beginning, middle, and end of everything, who is all-knowing, all-powerful, and here, all-loving. And so to be in a position of being a superior to Krishna is it's just mind-boggling. How is it possible that anyone can be in the position of being superior to Krishna? But Krishna plays that role. He allows that to happen in order to exchange loving relationships. Because Prabhupada explains that we have relationships with parents and children here. We have relationships with friends here. We have relationships with lovers here. And we have relationships with people who do service for us and we do service for them. And we have relationships with people in general, just in a very casual way. Where is all of that coming from? It's coming from Krishna. So the material world is simply a reflection of the spiritual world. But in the reflection, there is no substance. In the reality, it's substance. So one cannot be happy in the reflection, because in the reflection, it's simply what it is. It's a reflection. One has to go to the reality. So you just like if you're standing in front of a mirror and you're eating a nice piece of pizza, the reflection in the mirror is not tasting any pizza. But the person standing outside the mirror is enjoying the pizza. He's the reality. The reflection is just an example of the reality, or reflection of the reality. So there's no substance in it. So material life has no substance. Although it's real, it is without substance. It's simply a shallow existence. And it's based on the false premise that we are the body, and happiness centers around satisfying the body, the mind, and the senses. So this is a misnomer, and the whole world is going on like that, thinking that if we can just satisfy the body, mind, and senses, we'll be happy. But no one's satisfied. If everyone was satisfied, and everyone would be happy, and if everyone was happy, the world would be a very wonderful place. But you can see everyone is suffering. People don't like each other. There's always plans for crime, killing, and various types. Nobody's happy here. And even those who are not lawbreakers, they suffer, they struggle. Why? Because it's a false existence, this material world. But we can gradually get out, just like if you're in prison, and you somehow or other qualify yourself as being, doing your time nicely and a good prisoner, you get out on parole. So devotees are out on parole. We're still in the material world, but we're not locked up in the jail of the material world anymore. We're moving away from the jail program, and because we're still in the material world, we still have to deal with the material body and the material energy. But we are not suffering because of that. We are associating with Krishna in devotional service. So it is a step towards the reality of our ultimate existence, which is to be back with Krishna in the spiritual world, to enjoy eternal loving relationships in multiple forms of variety in the spiritual world with other living entities who are of the same quality, same nature. So that is our home. We don't belong in this world. We sometimes can't realize that because we've been in this material world so long. We think that this material world is natural, and the spiritual world is so far removed from our experience that we actually don't even believe it exists. Or if we do believe it exists, we have no understanding of what it's like. And therefore, we still put too much emphasis on the reality, on the existence of our false reality in this material world. And we play our roles as mother, father, child, and then the different roles we play in the social roles, political roles, familiar roles, and just roles in general. Well, it's all just like Shakespeare. He put it in a very nice way. He said, the whole world is simply a stage. That's all. Yeah, we're just staging ourselves, acting like something we are not. But the parole process is to engage in devotional service and to serve the Lord through serving his representative, the parole master, who is, he's not in locked up. He just takes care of the locked up people. And that is the spiritual master. And by serving the spiritual master who represents the jail system, who represents the supreme jailer, who is Krishna. Because Krishna is either our jailer or our lover. He locks us up in this world of material illusion, or he gets us out by the mercy of his supreme parole master, which is the spiritual master, who is gradually watching and encouraging us to behave properly and simply serve the Lord with devotion. If we dedicate one life to that activity, then we can go back home, back to the spiritual world, and leave this dream world behind, because this is all it is, the dream world. And just like we go to sleep at night and we dream we're something else than who we are in a waking reality. Similarly, this material waking reality is another form of dream. We're dreaming we're something we're not. And we're acting in that dream role and trying to find happiness in that false role. But therefore, when we come back to our real identity, Jiver Surupai Krishnera Nityadas, this is our only identity, and our only activity is to serve the Lord. Our only identity is eternal servant of the Lord. And so unless we understand this clearly, we will still look to this material world in its illusionary dance of trying to attract us to enjoy in this material world. We will consider that there's something here for my satisfaction, for my happiness. But by hearing these pastimes of the Lord, who performs these pastimes in Boma Vrindavan, in the spiritual world, it's Vrindavan. Vrindavan is manifested from the spiritual world. It comes to the material world. Krishna brings his spiritual abode to the material world. It looks like anything else in the material world, but it's not. It has a completely different energy. And it has a completely different effect upon those within it. And he is inviting us to associate with him in one of these roles, as servant, as friend, as parent, as lover. So if we take up his invitation, then we can gradually find happiness even while we are still in this material world, in this material body, because we are no longer encumbered or encased, nor encumbered or limited by the material body. We are free. The soul is free, and the soul connects its freedom with the supreme source of its existence, Sri Krishna, in loving devotional service. So we can see how Krishna, how he reciprocates with his eternal associates. And we can also enjoy that relationship with Krishna in the same way when we fully accept Krishna as our object of love and serve him. Savai Pumsam Twirlo Dharmo, Ito Bhakti Ahok Sajaya Hoituki Priyata, Yadyatma Suprasidati, 24 hours a day. Okay, so we'll stop there.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, thank you so much for this beautiful class and reminding us again this material world is like a reflection of the spiritual world, and we are trying to be happy, but there's no substance here. So we have to take a step towards, ultimate reality, that is devotional service through spiritual master by following his instructions. And thank you for explaining this exalted position of Mother Yashoda. So Krishna has become subordinate to Mother Yashoda because of this pure love. So that's the only way we can achieve this Krishna consciousness. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. I'll open up for the questions. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please, if you have any questions, comments, or realizations, please unmute. I already see Namrata Mataji raised her hand. And I humbly request, please, if possible, turn on your cameras. It will be nice, engaging for all of us. Yes, Namrata Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Revati Mataji. Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to your Lotus feet. Guru Maharaj, the example you gave of reflection is really wonderful, which helps us better to understand what is the position of us. So you said that if you're holding a pizza and when we see in the reflection, we still see the pizza, but actually there is no substance there. We are just in illusion. So if we are in illusion, why do we exhibit the emotions in that illusion? I mean, how do we feel? Why do we feel that emotions in that state?
Well, he speaks something. Because the Acharyas and Krishna says there's no happiness in this world, it's all suffering. But how, if it's everything is all suffering, how is people able to go on? So that has to be qualified. And so Vidyapati, who was a contemporary of Lord Chaitanya, he explains, there is happiness in this world, but it's compared to one drop of water in a desert. So if you're in a desert, water is very much needed and wanted. And so if somebody gives you one drop, it's not going to quench your thirst, but at least it gives you the idea that there's some water somewhere. So that one drop keeps you going, looking for that reservoir which never exists. So what is that one drop? And so then Vidyapati says family life. One drop. So that one drop of so-called happiness keeps the living entity there. Just like a person who is not married, there's no impetus to work. Marriage is an impetus to work because there is some reason for working in order to supply for the family. So, but nobody really wants to work. Everyone wants to enjoy all the time. But when you take on family life, you have to do something in order to support that family according to social and political rules of the state. So you take on this work and you're working in order to enjoy that one drop of happiness. That's all. So everyone's chasing that reservoir which doesn't exist, and once in a while they get a drop. Now, when they get that drop, they think, oh, there must be more of that same nectar around somewhere. But that drop doesn't satisfy them. It just keeps them going, looking for the reservoir of water that's not there. That's it. That's material life. Because everybody, you've talked to everyone, they all have their plans for the future. Everybody's going to be happy in the future. Nobody's happy now, they'll tell you that. Or at least if they don't tell you that, they act like they're happy. And then they all have, because you can't go on in life if somebody tells you there's no happiness. So you have to believe there is some happiness in order to go on. So that happiness is just an idea, which takes the form of that one drop, which is family life.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. I think that was again a wonderful example of the desert and the drop of water. So if we understand, if being in the family life, we understand that this is just the drop of water in the desert, how should our consciousness be?
Look for that reservoir of water that is not in this material world, it's somewhere else. It's in your relationship with Krishna. Krishna is that reservoir of happiness.
Okay,
As soon as you
thank
connect, you open up, you start to open up that unlimited reservoir of happiness, which is the nature of the soul. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. It's an ocean of material, ocean of spiritual enjoyment. Ocean. It's unlimited. Well, we got to stop chasing the drop. If you stop chasing the drop, then it's easier to find the reservoir. I'll give you an example. And this was a little, this is a little, what they call it, I forget, what do they call it? It's a little story. It's a story where one man, he's looking on the ground, and he's looking, and he's looking. And his friend comes by and says, oh, I see you're looking for something. What are you looking? Yes, I lost some money here. Oh, all right, I'll help you. Look. So both of them are looking. Finally, his friend starts to think. And he asks his friend, are you sure you lost the money here? And he says, no, I lost it over there, but there's more light here. I lost it down the road, but there's more light here. So we see it. Oh, there it is. Sex life. Wow. Happiness. Whoa. Go for it. Or some kind of material entertainment. Or something that will attract our consciousness to think that we can enjoy. And then when we go for it, something else happens. So that's Maya. Maya means what is not. That is the actual definition of Maya. What is not. It's not, it cannot give you the happiness you're looking for. The greatest happiness in the material world is sex life. Everybody's trying it, everybody's doing it, and nobody's happy. And it causes the most suffering too. The greater the form of happiness in this material world as defined by material standards, the greater the form of suffering. If a poor man is not as miserable as a rich man who is now poor. If a person was once rich and he lost all his money, now he's poor. He's more miserable than the poor people who's never had money. Don't chase after this illusion of happiness because it's not there. And if you get some material success, you're gonna lose it anyway. That's just guaranteed. Time factor takes everything away. And everyone's trying to enjoy what they have during the time they have it. And they're struggling just to enjoy it. Who are the most miserable people? The people who have the most materially. That's a statistic. Higher rates of suicide come with people who are affluent than those who are less in a lesser position. It's like one of the biggest and wealthiest families in India. I won't mention the name. Their son committed suicide. And they knew the devotees too. And the parents were shocked. Here's our son. He's the heir to an unlimited fortune. I mean, they were billionaires. One of the richest families in India. And they used to invite us. I've been to their homes in India. They used to invite us for programs. I mean, the houses are just like palaces, you know. You need a map to get around. Huge houses, and the children have everything at their disposal. And their teenage son committed suicide. Parents flipped out. And they went all around the world speaking to as many holy people as possible, trying to get an answer. Why? Finally, they came to us. And then one of our senior devotees really gave them the understanding that it's not about material success that will give a person the satisfaction and happiness they need in life. If you could have everything and be lonely, people are lonely. Right, because they can't develop relationships with others because they're always chasing after material things. And even if they have relationships with others, it's based on material situations. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ukalayam Asasrata. Says it, and he says it again in a later part of the same Gita. He says, Anityam Ashubham. Shubham means happiness. Anitya, that this world is temporary and there's no happiness in it. Krishna says it twice. Same statement, just rephrased it. And we have to take Krishna's word for it. There's no happiness. So what is the happiness? It's the pursuit of happiness. That's all. Everyone is chasing happiness, hoping someday they'll get it. And even if they get it for a little while, they lose it. And then they become even more despondent. That's why renunciation is the opulence of a devotee.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. I think that was wonderfully elaborated answer. And yes, the way to find the reservoir is to stop chasing that drop. So thank you. Thank you very much.
If you chase the drop, you'll get the drop every once in a while, but you'll never be satisfied. If you chase Krishna, you'll be happy. Even if you can't catch him, it's fun chasing him.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Because eventually you'll get him.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj, for that detailed answer. Sukhawa Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to your lotus feet and all glories to this assembled devotees. Thank you for the lovely class and explanation, Guru Maharaj. But I have still one confusion. You mentioned that everything is over here is illusionary, and we have to live as if we are acting over here. So if you think in that way, then all our act, whatever we do, becomes very artificial. How do we get like our full love and care for the people who have to take care of and do the activities in that way? Like they won't. I can understand that we won't have attachment, but then what about that artificial?
Prabhupada says you can't take care of anybody. Nobody can help anybody. Only Krishna. Anyone. So Krishna puts you in a position of taking care of someone, but it's Krishna that's doing it through you. If you become sick, what can you do? You can't, then someone needs to take care of you. So who's taking care? Krishna's taking care of everybody. Krishna says, I'm everybody's protector, maintainer, and provider. He's doing it. We play the role as his agent, that's all. We think we're giving care, we're thinking we're giving protection, we're thinking we're giving so many things. But actually, it's Krishna working through us, using us to do that. That's all. If Krishna pulls his mercy away from a caretaker, they can't do anything. And he does that sometimes just to show you're not in control. It's me. But he allows you to play that role. You play your role as a mother who's taking care of your family, the father who is so-called providing for your family. But it's Krishna who's doing everything through either the roles that we play in this world. That's no one can protect anyone. It's
But
Krishna.
don't we have to act like, because Krishna has given us the role, like Krishna has given me the role of mother, so I have to put my 100% to be a mother.
Yeah.
And do everything for my family, don't I?
Yeah, play the role.
Hmm.
And
But if I
get
think that I'm
absorbed.
just acting, then I won't be like, the emotions won't be there. It'll be like,
Right.
okay, I have to do this and I'm doing it.
Yeah. But when you can't do it anymore, then you see that it's really a role you're playing, that's all.
Hmm.
But you put your heart into it. You be a good mother. You be a good wife. You get absorbed in that. But first, before you do all of that, be a good devotee first. If you're a good devotee, then you can play your roles in this world without becoming overly attached to the roles, but become attached to Krishna. You can love your family, you can love your husband, you can love others who are in relationship to you in different ways. But ultimately, it all comes with our relationship with Krishna. Because Krishna, he's Mula. Mula means root. It means he's the foundation to everything that goes on in this world. Krishna will bring things to your home to help you. Krishna will deny things coming there, just for whatever reason. In other words, everything is happening according to his arrangement. Now, you somehow qualify yourself to get his mercy by performing certain activities, and therefore, when you qualify yourself, he works through you in that capacity. That's it. So if you want to be a good mother, then you put your heart into it. Ultimately, your relationship as a mother is based on the quality of your relationship with Krishna, ultimately. The more Krishna conscious, the more you'll be a good mother. We
Thank you,
don't
Guru.
say we shouldn't have. We don't say we shouldn't have feelings for each other. These things are genuine, they're natural. But when Krishna is not in our life, the feelings are motivated by personal interest. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It does make sense now. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Make sense?
Yes, it does now. Yeah. Yes. So we have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
we have to do the role with full heart in it, but thinking that this role is given to us by Krishna. So keep Krishna in the center and don't get too attached and don't feel that we are doing it, isn't it?
Well, act like you're doing it, but know in the background it's Krishna's mercy.
Krishna's mercy. Yeah.
Take care of my family because Krishna's given me the mercy to do it.
Yes. Thank you.
If you qualify, you receive the mercy. Huh?
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Yeah, I see Sridev Mataji's hand raised. Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you, Rivati. Please accept my humble obeisances, dear Guru Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, this exact point that Khavaha was saying about us having to live in this world and deal with all the people in our lives in such a way that we are pleasing Krishna. That's the most important thing, that in all our activities, Krishna says, you just do it as an offering unto me, please me. So now sometimes our family members, they want things that we as devotees may not exactly like to do or want to do. But in order to please them, should we do it thinking that this will please Krishna?
Well, that may or may not be true, depending on the situation.
Well,
For
maybe I should
instance,
a little bit.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah. Okay. For example, let me give you something that is coming up for me. My daughter is getting married and she wants me to dress up. She wants me to wear jewelry. She wants me to be dolled up and do all the things to look like the bride's mother. When I explained to her, hey, I'm a Hare Krishna, and you know, I'm a Vanaprastha, I'm just waiting for you to get married, and then I'm going to be like really simple. She says, if you come like that to the marriage, people are going to conclude you're either unhappy with the marriage or you don't care about what people think, and it's going to give a bad impression. So you must dress up for the marriage. So now to please her, I probably will have to dress up. And I'm thinking, I don't know whether this is going to really please Krishna, or I'm pleasing her, or I'm pleasing Krishna. By pleasing her, I'm all confused.
Yes, because you're attached. That's why you're confused.
What to do, Guru Maharaj?
Well, you might say, if it helps her in her Krishna consciousness.
Sorry?
The Brahma is what will be good for her Krishna consciousness.
Well, certainly making her unhappy is going to put her off. So I guess pleasing her will still keep some connection and maybe bring her to Mayapur.
I was just with a devotee in London when I was there about 2 months ago. So we were out, he was driving me around. So that night, after everything was over, he had to go to a family thing. So he didn't want to go, but the family were pushing him, you gotta come. And so he went, and but he couldn't put his heart into it because he was just feeling awkward being there. But he went just to make everybody happy. And so sometimes, I don't know. It depends. You might say, you have to accept me for who I am. I don't have to play the role you want me to play. She's being a little bit, demanding that she has this image that if you come in a certain way, everyone will see that she has such a nice mother. And if you come this other way, they'll think you're a little bit outside of the box. So, it's just, this is just all this family confusion.
Oh, Krishna.
So I don't know. Hey, if you want, dress up, make her happy, and when you're there, chant Hare Krishna. That's all.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to carry mantra cards. I'm going to carry little prasadam packets and little books, and whoever comes to me, I'm going to talk about Krishna. That's it.
Yeah. So, use the opportunity to preach. And they'll say, "Oh, this is a nice lady. She looks so nice. Maybe I'll see what she's got." I mean, it's just such a useless thing, you have to play all kinds of people's roles in order to satisfy them. But sometimes we do that. Just to keep the peace.
Yeah, I just think it's just one day or 2 days or 3 days or whatever it is going to be. And then finally, she's going to be happy that mama came and did whatever she wanted. And that way, at least she will still have some, at least I'll keep the relationship. And then maybe she will visit Mayapur with her husband.
I think that's the real point for it. That she'll feel happy with you, and then because of that, it'll be more inclined to associate with you, and by doing that, it'll help her Krishna consciousness. You have to play the role.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, thank you so much for your mercy.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji, that question. So I see a comment by Bhadra Prabhu. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. A really important question by Sukhava Mataji. Thank you very much for a really clear answer, Maharaj. I particularly like feelings are motivated by our personal interest. Okay. So, comment.
Yeah, it's Bhadra Mataji, sorry. Mataji.
Subhadra Mataji. Oh, okay.
No, Bhadra Mataji.
Bhadra Mataji. Okay. Bhadra
Yes.
Mataji. Yes. Yeah, thank you. Yes. Yeah. Devotees, any questions, realizations on this topic? So, Guru Maharaj, I have a question about it's related to Sukhava Mataji. happiness, like in this material world, everything is like unhappiness, and there's no happiness in this world. But also, even after coming to devotional service, like when you're executing devotional service, also we experience happiness. Like when it comes to like relations, like kids, we have some plans. Okay, we want them to, progress spiritually, and we make plans. Like, we want to do like this. Is that also like it's a considered like a material plan, or how should
What is the plan again?
we have spiritual happiness and the material happiness, like just to differentiate between them. Even after coming to spiritual world also, we make up like plans. Okay, we want our kids to do this, become good kirtan player, and so we make plans like whenever we go there, so we want them to be a good kirtaner. So is that also like attachment?
That's spiritual.
That's spiritual. Okay.
If you want something spiritual for those who are part of your family, that's spiritual. Fully spiritual.
Okay, very much. Mm-hmm.
I'll be right back. There's a little bug on my desk here, and he's a little lost. I'm going to give him a better position. He's like most of my disciples. He doesn't want to listen to me. Be right back. We got a Mr. Bob. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tomorrow,
Thank you.
I have a program at 3 o'clock. I'm going to try it. 3 o'clock my time. It gives me 2.5 hours before the Zoom call. So I'm going to try to be here by 5:30, which is the Zoom call time in India. So just be ready if I don't make it in time, but I'll try.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
I should be able to make it in time, hopefully, but it's going to be hard because I'm going to be with a lot of other people. So anyway, let's see. I'll try for it.
Yes,
But
Guru
just
Maharaj.
having someone ready to give the class.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Okay, so thank you very much, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Thank you, Guru. Thank you very much for this beautiful class again. Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Navratri ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Krishna.
Thank you.